Happy to be here with my brothers of Blog. Ready to get to it, man. I'm so excited about this show. But you yourself a professional athlete, and you get paid to catch the ball and can't. Like, that just makes no sense to me.
Biggest takeaway is that if you are a West Coast team, take your behind to the East Coast 2 days beforehand so you can at least get 1 day acclimated to the time difference.
The effort they put up against the Warriors, lethargic, pitiful. We won't give too many more words to it, so we're going to move on.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, the Big Game Christian Sports Network proudly presents Donnie Epting, Dwayne Sutton, and Willie Epting. And they are in the zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the boys are back in sound. We welcome you to the In the Zone Sports Show here on the official broadcast station of the Dallas Charge Pro Fast Pitch Softball, the Big Game Christian Sports Network. And this episode of the In the Zone Sports Show is being brought to you by PureFlix. Enjoy faith and family movies, TV shows, and educational programs anytime, anywhere for only $7.99 per month. Sign up for your 30-day free trial by going to bgcsports.net or on the BGC Sports app and click on the PureFlix banner to start your free trial today. I am the Captain Donnie Epting. The brothers of Blog are with me. Let's say hello to them. Get them in here. Dwayne Sutton, how you doing?
Brothers, my brothers, the devil tried to stop us from allowing us to have a successful show, but in the name of Jesus, we will have a successful show. So with that being said, I'm happy to be here, Cap. How about you, fellas?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Good to talk to you. Willie Epting Jr., what's the deal, son?
What's happening, world? I echo those same sentiments from my brother. Nothing will stop us from having a successful show in Jesus' name. How y'all doing?
He did it. I appreciate that. That made me feel so much better.
Man, stop crying. It's good to talk to y'all again. Right, it's good to talk to y'all after our week hiatus. A couple of us weren't feeling too well, but we're back up and going and ready to deliver another edition of the great In the Zone Sports Show. So, fellas, y'all ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
Let go.
All right. We first off want to pause and send out our thoughts and prayers and condolences to our family across the pond in Belgium after the horrific, tragic events that took place earlier in the week. The bombings in the airport. ISIS is, claiming to have a part to do with the tragic events that took place in the Brussels airport this week. For our brothers and sisters in Belgium and in Brussels, we dedicate this show to you. And, only a moment, we can give you something to laugh or smile at. We're here to do that for you. And our thoughts and prayers are definitely with you all. Dwayne, Willie, let's get your thoughts in here on the events that took place in Belgium this week. Dwayne, you start.
Well, the word of God, it warned us about the last days. So honestly, I am not shocked and surprised by the events. The sad part about that statement really is me not being shocked. Because it's become so frequent now. It's almost as if you kind of expect it, and that's a sad thing. But to all the children of God, I encourage you to keep the faith, stay strong. To those who have not come to know the Lord for themselves yet, now's the time. We are definitely living in the last days. I pray for the families, for everyone who lost someone who was touched in that situation. May God heal them, and In the Zone loves you.
Indeed, man. Great stuff. Willie, what are your thoughts about the events in Belgium this week?
Yeah, it's really pretty much the same thing Dwayne said. We're obviously living in the last days. You have the evidence and the signs all around. Once again, he has told us, him being the one and true, only living God. He has told us all throughout the Bible that this was going to be taking place. Dikembe Mutombo was actually at the airport at the time of the bombings, and he said like it was like two angels had saved him. So,
Right.
For all those over there and that have been affected by this senseless tragedy, if you are a disciple of Jesus Christ, I encourage you to hold on to your faith, and good will prevail in the end.
Amen, fellas, and thank you guys for your thoughts. Once again, this show goes out to all those who this horrific event touched in any sort of way. We're with you, and like we said, if for just a moment, we give you something to laugh about, a smile at, just to kind of get your minds off of things, then hey, that's what we're here to do for you. All right, let's #run the break. I'm gonna play point guard if y'all don't mind. I'm gonna start this thing off.
That's my spot, man.
I don't care. We're gonna get up and down the floor. We're gonna get up and down the floor. We're gonna run this break, man. Let's first of all talk some college basketball. Willie, I love you, man. You know I do. Let's talk some college basketball. Where's y'all brackets? Are they in the trash? Or are they in the city dump somewhere? Because I think that's where mine is. It's gone somewhere far, far away. Like Jenny said, the forest, dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far, far, far away from here. That's my bracket. What about y'all's? What y'all's brackets looking like?
Well, Cap, Woe is actually all right, man. I'm still tripping off of dear God, make me a bird. But I'm all right. I'm not gonna say I'm sitting pretty, but I'm in the 77th percentile, where my brackets are better than everybody, that many people. Anyway, so I'm looking okay. That Michigan State game, hey, you getting salty? You all right?
Yes. Okay? Next question.
But that Michigan State game, it really hurt me. That was the most painful part of my bracket, though.
All right, so we'll go ahead and segue into it. Dwayne, your favorite moment from the round of 64, 32, or first round or second round, whatever you want to call it. And I think we already got a clue as to what it is.
Well, yeah. Speaking of Sparty,
right?
Sparty and Middle Tennessee. It's the David and Goliath game, and I have a tendency to root for the underdog. Sorry, it's a short man thing. I guess I can say short, 5'9". All you people.
You're the tallest one on the team.
That ain't saying much. Anyway, so yeah, that game, man, it's amazing to see the underdogs, the smaller guys, in such a moment where you've got one of the top tiered seeds in the tournament you're facing, and you don't want to lose control. And those guys, they kept their focus, they kept their poise, and they went ahead and they took out Goliath.
Yeah, and not too many people outside of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, or Middle Tennessee State University, the campus itself, gave the Blue Raiders, the heck is a Blue Raider anyway, much of a chance to win that game. You know what? Hey, yeah, I'm salty. I had Michigan State in my Final Four, which has now been adversely affected by the Blue Raiders. What the heck is a Blue Raider anyway? Willie, your turn. I'm going to get off this Blue Raider rant. What is a Blue Raider? Willie, what's your favorite moment of the first or second round?
Well, a Blue Raider is a Raider that's not silver and black. Go ahead and sound the alarm.
I don't even want to sound the alarm.
No, I'm not giving him that. You don't deserve that one.
I gave it to him. He got it.
Mm-mm. Well, anyway, my favorite moment to this point of the tournament, Stone Cold Stephen F. Austin, stand up, Mr. Walk Up. Man, I'm telling you, man, if this guy, if he and I were in college together at ULM or NLU or Southern Technical College or whichever one of those schools I went to, this guy and I would be in the student union building playing Street Fighter and taking people's money on the pool table. Oh, by the way, I said it. And by the way, he can by the way, this kid can play some basketball, man. I mean, Those guys out of the Southland Conference, man, from Nacogdoches, Texas.
Say it again.
Nacogdoches, Texas. I think they went like 28-6 this year.
Yeah.
And that coach, man, he parlayed that to a position that he was able to commandeer at Oklahoma State University.
Yeah, Coach Underwood. I think they've lost like 2 or 3 games in conference play since he's been there. An outrageous number. They've run the Southland Conference. But hey, Brad Underwood, he served his time down in Nacogdoches. You're there for a reason. You're there for a season, and it's time for him to move on. Hopefully, he brings Oklahoma State back to prominence, back to a level of respectability. It's good for the Big 12 Conference when Oklahoma State is good. It's good for that rivalry between Okie State and Oklahoma when both teams are good. So hopefully Underwood does make a difference up there in Stillwater. My favorite moment from the first and second round had to be Texas A&M in that big comeback over Northern Iowa in the second round. Texas A&M used a 14-2 run in the last 34 seconds of the game. Yes, he said last 34 seconds of the game to overcome a 12-point deficit to force overtime. The game eventually went to double overtime, and then Texas A&M won it. This was the game where everybody was looking forward to a Texas A&M neighborhood backyard brawl type showdown, and it didn't happen because Northern Iowa and Mr. Jesperson hit a half-court heave off the glass to send Northern Iowa to that second round game against A&M, and A&M did win it and advance to the Sweet 16. So, you guys bold enough? You think it's worthy enough to go ahead and give a Final Four? You know, who we think is going to be in Houston after Sunday night's games?
Oh, let's do it.
Well, you go right on ahead, Mr. Sutton. Who's your Final Four?
Yeah. Kansas, Duke, Carolina, Virginia.
That's 1, that's 2, that's 3 ACC teams for him.
That would be correct, sir.
Homer. Willie.
Man, I'm just going to run through these after that, man. I got North Carolina. I've got Virginia. I've got OU, and I've got KU. So I have 2 Big 12 teams and 2 ACC teams.
Okay, and we share a last name, and we share the same Final Four. I've got KU. I've got Oklahoma. I've got North Carolina. And I've got Wahoo Nation from Virginia in my Final Four as well. So by 10 o'clock Sunday night, Central Time, of course, we'll know who is headed to Houston for the Final Four. And we'll talk more about the Final Four in next week's show. We'll preview the national semifinals. But, we get through the regionals here to see who makes up that Final Four. All right, let's swing over to the NBA here real quick. We got about 2 minutes left in this segment. I want to get my man Dwayne Sutton in here because we're going to talk about one of his best friends, his BFF, his homie, his ace, Dwight Howard.
You know, the more you keep going, you're going to make this worse, right?
Yes. That is why I'm the captain.
Send him my way.
That is why I'm the captain. Dwight Howard is in a sticky situation. What we mean by sticky, stick 'em. Paul Millsap from the Hawks was on the free throw line. He shot 1 free throw and it went in. He got ready to shoot the second free throw and he put his hand on the ball and said, hey, ref, this ball's a little sticky. He took the ball over to the referee. Referee threw it over to the sideline. They saw cans of stick 'em everywhere. And this is where we bring Dwayne in because Dwight Howard said he uses stick 'em. Dwayne, what's your thoughts on Mr. Howard?
All right, Dwight, come see me center stage right now. The gloves are off. What is that on your hand? Stick 'em. Are you serious? Are you serious? So you play for the 49ers now? You going out for a tight end, wide receiver?
Hey, watch me.
Who you think you is? DJ Quick, Kick Free? No, listen. I can't believe. And then, not only did he say I've been using, he's used it for the past 5 seasons. We are talking about the modern day Kevin Willis. Big arms, small hands. Dwight Howard cannot palm the basketball. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's why Superman throws the ball in instead of actually dunking it. He can't palm it. It is sad. It is sorry. He is terrible. God bless him. Lord help him.
Hey, we'll just end segment 1 by saying it's about Dwight. It's lethargic. It's terrible. It's asinine. And we're not going to waste too much time on it. We're just going to move on.
Oh, that's a 10 on the dumpy scale.
Dumpy. Take your behind to the gym and learn how to palm a basketball. You know what? Hey, that's the end of segment 1, people. We had to give you something to laugh at here to end segment 1. It's great to be on with you guys again here on the BGC Sports Network. When we come back, we're going to talk a little more basketball later on and talk some football. We'll do all that and more when we come back here on the In the Zone Sports Show after this brief timeout.
It's not a team without t-shirts.
Custom t-shirts from Custom Ink are the easy way to connect any group. Our online design lab makes it simple to create a shirt design that your group will love. Or you can easily upload your own logo. Whether you need one shirt or thousands, Custom Ink can print any size order. And we know you can't wait for your new t-shirts. That's why we offer free shipping, and on-time delivery is guaranteed. Get a free price quote today at customink.com.
We welcome you back to the In the Zone Sports Show here on the official broadcast station of the Dallas Charge. Pro Fast Pitch Softball on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. This edition of the In the Zone Sports Show is being brought to you by PureFlix. Enjoy faith and family movies, TV shows, and educational programs anytime, anywhere for only $7.99 per month. Sign up for your 30-day free trial by going to bgcsports.net or on the BGC Sports app and click on the PureFlix banner to start your free trial today. All right. Segment 2. Hashtag hash marks. It's time to talk a little football, people. Let's talk some NFL. We've had some rules changes take place in the NFL this week. The NFL owners meetings took place. Competition committee, they got together and changed the following. Chop blocks. And Dwayne, we're going to get you in on this one in just a second. Chop blocks are now illegal. Boy. Chop blocks are illegal. It is now permanent that the point after touchdowns will be kicked the line of scrimmage will be at the 15-yard line for those. Horse collar tackles have been expanded to the area of the nameplate and above. There's now an ejection for 2 unsportsmanlike penalties.
What you say?
Odell Beckham Jr. And touchback will now come out to the 25-yard line instead of the traditional 20-yard line. All right, so Dwayne, chop blocks, illegal. You were a linebacker back in the day. I know this is kind of more towards D linemen, especially D tackles, who get involved in those double teams. But man, just talk about this this new rule with chop blocks being illegal now. How do you see things being changed in the scope of the NFL?
Well, you're right. Chop blocks they more so affect the D lineman, because once you're entangled with one man, I think that's just a punk move to really drop and hit another man in the leg while he's not looking. You know, that to me is just ridiculous. You too big. Why are you that big and you have to hit the ground and do that? But no, man, we lose some good players, some key players, and like I said, it affects them, but it also affects, like, for instance, linebackers, because, like, for instance, guys like when Ray Lewis played, what made Ray Lewis so great was he had a plugger in the middle, and that way he was able to attack gaps. When you lose those key interior linemen to stupid injuries, because somebody wants to play dirty, yes, I do feel like chop blocks are dirty. I know they're necessary for certain run schemes, but they are dirty. I just think that's a good thing to get chop blocking out the game all the way.
Willie, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I can see it simply because, you know, with the NFL and their mandate of making the game safer, you know, nobody ever really mentioned this. It was all about the head shots, and nobody had ever mentioned this. Or if they did, it wasn't anywhere near to the scale of what the head injuries or what the headshots have been receiving. So, you know, my thing is, I understand why they're doing it, and Dwayne, I understand your point too, and I do know that, you know, in some running schemes, the chop block may be necessary. Think about it like this too: when you have, a blitzing outside linebacker against a running back. I mean, he's going to try to take the guy low, so that's going to eliminate that. So it's going to be an adjustment period, especially for those running backs, man, that are just really learning how to block and pick up a blitz on the professional level.
Yeah.
But overall, man, I like it. To make the game safer. Like I said, they have been focusing so much on the head. You can't play the game without your head or your legs. So it's good that they went down below to protect those guys there too.
All right. You guys got anything on the point out the touchdowns being permanently put at the 15 for the line of scrimmage? It made for some interesting drama last year with so many missed kicks. I mean, so many games were up in the air, man, based on kickers not being able to kick extra points. Willie, what's your thoughts on the PAT rule?
I'm okay with it. I mean, they're trying to make the game safer and more exciting at the same time. You see the rule changes you can't even breathe on a receiver. Even when he hits the field, he could be on the sideline and not even in a play. And if you breathe on him, they're going to call a penalty. So I think it.
My bad.
It's all right, man. It's funny. Go ahead and laugh. It actually, in my opinion, brings some more excitement back to the game because no more is the automatic kick automatic. So it's forcing teams to have to go for two. And do you guys know which team led the league in point or 2-point conversion attempts last season?
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
There you go. And Mike Tomlin's got some kind of cheat sheet, man, because he goes for two at the times where you don't think he should, or you think it would even be a debate to do so or not. So, I mean, for the overall excitement of the game, man, I'm excited about it.
Okay. Dwayne?
Go figure. They're going to try to actually make kickers earn their money. Same thing with offensive linemen. Pay you to block somebody. We pay you to make extra points. Can you do that for us? I'm all for it.
And just to go back to the chop block rule, both of you guys kind of hit something there. The game has been so catered towards protecting the quarterback, one, keeping the wide receivers, the divas, clean for two. It's good to see the game instill something for the defensive fellas with this with eliminating the chop block. It's good to see that they can have something to kind of smile about. I was reading some of the tweets, man, from guys like Patrick Peterson and Damon Harrison, and man, it was just funny. They are elated that chop blocks are now illegal. So as well, let's talk about the ejections for the two unsportsmanlike penalties. I want to say I read a tweet from Jay Glazer maybe on Wednesday after all this was handed down, and Glazer kind of mentioned that some of the coaches aren't happy about this one because you could have one guy get involved in something, a star player get involved in something, and draw one penalty. Then who's to say that the opposing team isn't going to send in the goon, as John Chaney was alluded to one of his players at Temple, to goon the player into getting that second unsportsmanlike penalty and being ejected. Dwayne, what's your thoughts on that, man?
Well, I'm glad you brought up John Chaney because it's kind of like the two techs in basketball.
Right.
All right. So when you realize you got that first one on you, you kind of need your teammates to step in for you. You also need to hit your check button, put yourself in check, man. But no, I'm all for that. Brandon Merriweather might as well retire, though. Seriously.
Oh man,
it's done. It's a wrap for him.
Yeah.
Reggie Nelson, you too.
Yeah. All right, let's touch on one more of the rules here. The touchbacks coming out to the 25-yard line. Willie, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm a little confused, man, because all this talk about safety and eliminating the kickoff with those car wrecks that happen every time somebody scores and the offensive team kicking off, this is what's going to happen with this rule, because of this rule, rather. Kickers are going to pooch kick the ball and try to get it at least inside the 10, definitely inside the 5. So what does that do? That puts more hang time on the ball, which gives those guys more time to run down and just clock somebody.
Right.
Because it's going to be a game of field position. They're not going to just kick it through the uprights or kick it through the end zone and give them a free 25. I don't think that's going to happen. So it's kind of like it is a offset from what they were trying to do. You know, you move the kickoff back or up to the 35?
Is it
and now
30? Yeah.
It's the 35. So now you do that a few years ago, and then you move the touchback to the 20, or if you touch back, you move it out to the 25.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so special teams coaches, man, they're gonna game plan around that and try to keep those people inside the 25 now. So they're not gonna have the kickers kicking through the end zone anymore. I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
Indeed. Let's talk about some things, not necessarily on the field, but just some things that have taken place, some player movement and some other things going on. While we were away on our little hiatus, Martellus Bennett was traded from the Bears to the Pats. Dwayne, what are your thoughts on the impact that this might have on New England's offense?
Ooh. Lord, help me. Tom Brady is at his most dangerous with two solid tight ends, a.k.a. Rob Gronk and Hacker Baby. Aaron Hernandez.
This guy.
You know. So
what is Hacker Baby?
Right.
Listen, don't worry about it now. All right. So
yeah,
Brady's at his most efficient, effective self when he has two solid, reliable tight ends. The middle of the field becomes open. And then you got your little smallest receivers who pretty much are almost unguardable because they can just crawl underneath your leg or something. I don't know. This is going to be trouble.
Yeah. I would like to agree. Willie?
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned Aaron Hernandez because, excuse me, as I was looking at this, I thought the exact same thing that you did.
They're going to be killing offenses. Defense.
No.
Say they're going to be killing offenses. Okay.
No, but I tell you what this is. Yeah, I tell you what this is going to do. Now I want y'all to really think about this. So they have Marty B and Gronk. And you have Edelman, and you have Amendola. So you basically have foregone any sort of deep threat in your offensive repertoire. So what does that mean? Rub routes, pick routes, quick outs, slants, all those things that only require a 3 to at most 5-step drop. So what happened against the Broncos in the AFC Championship game to the Patriots? Tom Brady gets hit more times in one game, or he got hit double the times in one game that he had all season. So now, 3 to 5-step drops, not only are you keeping Tom Brady from getting smashed like he did, you're also extending his career another couple of years so they can make one more run before he's all done.
That's a good point, man. Inside the red zone, having those two targets, 6'4" and above, that's going to be Hades to defend. I'm not going to say the other word. This is a Christian show. Yeah, I said Hades. Yeah, Hades. All right. Robert Griffin III. He is now a Cleveland Brown. He's part of the dog pound. Oh, sorry. New coach Hugh Jackson and the Browns have signed Griffin to a 2-year deal. So, question is, Willie Epting Jr., what type of season can we expect from RG3 in Northeast Ohio?
A broken one.
Oh, okay. Why you mad for? You just mad. How?
Because
Cleveland we can't take you nowhere.
It's Cleveland, man. This dude, man, is a billionaire, and you can't do any better than what you're doing since 1999. That's 18 seasons. The Cleveland Browns have had 24 starting quarterbacks.
Gosh.
That is more than one per year. here. Are you freaking kidding me? Give me the ball, coach. I need some stickum.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying.
Got to connect
Too
down
soon?
there in Houston.
Right. Hashtag too soon.
Not at all.
I'm just saying.
Dwayne, what are you looking for?
Good luck, man.
RG3.
Allow me.
Allow.
Yeah, allow me. RG3. Cleveland Browns just lost Pro Bowl lineman. You know, somebody who actually mattered. Pivotal part of that offensive line. RG3, you need protecting. I understand Hugh Jackson is there. I know he's an offensive-minded, genius. But, sir, if you can't stand up right, you cannot throw the football. How in the world do you manage to go from Washington to Cleveland and think that you upgraded? Just because you can step on the field? You better hope you can walk off that field. Got a stretcher waiting for you, pimp.
Oh, boy. Call him pimp.
I love the Wolves' rants, man. They are one of a kind. Oh, my goodness.
All right. Let's talk about another quarterback because Griffin's signing may have actually kind of started the domino effect with a couple of other guys. Can we go just team answer here? Whose roster will Colin Kaepernick be on for week 1 of the 2016 season? Dwayne.
San Francisco.
Willie.
The Santa Clara 49ers.
He said Santa Clara.
That's where their stadium is.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with you guys. Speaking as the 49ers homer.
You can't do that to yourself, man. You got to let one of us do it.
I can do whatever I want to do.
Move on.
Right. I don't give a. So, Colin Kaepernick will be a 49er. Based on the fact that, Cleveland's now got Griffin, so a trade partner is gone. Denver's kind of asking for too much. So, I don't see that happening. The Jets might still be a viable option. But I think eventually they get it right with Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he'll be back there with Gang Green. So, Colin Kaepernick, he'll be a quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to start because I think that's Blaine Gabbert. That'll be starting week 1. That's just my opinion, and we'll move on from there. About 75 seconds left. NFL draft comes up in a little over a month. We've had a couple of pro days here lately. Jared Goff had his pro day at Cal Berkeley. Carson Wentz had his pro day at North Dakota State for the Bison. It's with a Z like, not Bison, Bison. Anyway, Dwayne, Jared Goff will be drafted by fill in the blank. That's not
Jared Goff. I'm going with San Francisco.
I knew it. All right, Willie. Carson Wentz will be drafted by
the Cleveland Browns.
And I'm glad you said that.
Wow.
I think that RG3 is the Kurt Warner to Eli Manning. If you remember, Kurt Warner was a starter before Eli Manning eventually took over. And I think that's what RG3 is going to be up in Cleveland. So, good stuff, good football talk. We've got a lot more coming with the draft coming up and some other things that are moving and shaking in the NFL. When we come back, segment 3 of the End Zone Sports Show. We'll talk a little baseball, a little more basketball, and wrap this thing up. We'll do all that and more when we come back here on the End Zone Sports Show on the Big Game Christian Sports Network after this timeout.
I have got to tell you about TaxAct.com. You can file simple federal and state returns for free. TaxAct is the best deal in tax. With TaxAct.com, you got this. Easy, fast, and affordable tax filing. Get everything you need to file your taxes for less. TaxAct, the best deal in tax. And TaxAct is easy. They guide you every step of the way. Start anywhere, finish anytime on your computer, your tablet, or your phone. Save money and get your maximum refund guaranteed. TaxAct.com. You got this.
Last call. Welcome back to the In the Zone Sports Show here on the official broadcast station of the Dallas Charge Pro Fast Pitch Softball on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. This edition of the In the Zone Sports Show is being brought to you by PureFlix. Enjoy faith and family movies, TV shows, and educational programs anytime, anywhere for only $7.99 per month. Sign up for your 30-day free trial by going to bgcsports.net or on the BGC Sports app and click on the PureFlix banner to start your free trial today. All right, segment 3, the In the Zone Sports Show. We're rolling on, folks. Hashtag Brothers of Baseball have entered the room. Willie, it's almost time, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We've got something to put together. We got to get something to put together for an MLB season preview coming up here pretty soon, don't we?
Yes, sir, we do.
All right. In the meantime, let's talk about the MLB's return to Cuba for a game for the first time since 1999. The Tampa Bay Rays went to Cuba to face the national team. Willie, discuss the impact that this will have on the future of Major League Baseball and both the nations of the United States and Cuba.
Well, I would like to see a coming together of the two countries. I mean, United States and Cuba, they are only separated by about the same amount of distance as it is from Monroe to Oak Grove, Louisiana. Shout out to the 318. Y'all stand up. We love you. Cuba has churned out so many talented players over the years. It's just a shame that the Cuban government is still stuck in its ways. The old post-Cold War mentality still exists. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking that if they could somehow get out of their own way, this could actually be beneficial to their nation economically. And I say that because those baseball players from Cuba, they're going to come to the United States regardless.
Right.
It's just going to be whether it's going to be under a whole bunch of restraint and, tyranny, or if they're going to be able to just get it done and come over freely. But the reason why I say it could have a definite positive impact on their economy is because those guys are going to come over here and make millions of dollars, and they're going to pump a lot of that money back into their home country.
Right.
So hopefully from a political standpoint and a diplomatic standpoint, this would be the start of something huge. But as far as the impact on what it's going to do, in regards to those players coming over here, they're going to do that regardless. I mean, the only thing that, I would say or that I would hope for is that, the tensions are eased so these players can do what they freely love to do, which is play baseball. And I think it'll be a win-win situation for everybody involved.
No, I agree, man. And it was great to see President Obama down there chopping it up with Mr. Castro. Obama was down there giving the safe symbol when one of the Rays players slid into home plate. And look, amongst all the stuff that went on in Belgium on Tuesday, same day this game was played, like we say, it's good to just have something to kind of take your mind off things for just a little while. And that's what that game did. Willie, you mentioned it, man. So many of the Cuban players that have come to our country, most of it illegally, of course, but you think about the Yoenis Cespedes, the Livan Hernandez, the Orlando El Duque Hernandez, is the Rusney Castillos, who's with the Red Sox. Those have been some talented players that can definitely make a difference in the sport. And, for us baseball fans, it'll be good to see just this influx of talent to be able to come over legally. And some of these things these guys go through to get here, I mean, you talking about, floating out in water and on man-made rafts and, kidnapping, all kind of crazy stuff just to come and play baseball. It'll be good for them to come to the land of the free and the home of the brave and live out their dreams, just like this country, gives a lot of us, natives, a chance to live out our dreams. Willie, were you about to say something?
Yeah, excuse me, not to get up in the pulpit because everybody know, I ain't no preacher, but I got to say this. What are you using your influence for? What are you using your God-given talent for? Are you using it for good or are you using it for evil? Mm-hmm. And that's a question that has to be answered by each of us, I believe, and in my humblest opinion. I even posed a question to this fellow I used to work with. I mean, he's got a lot of influence. He's a born leader, but he participates in some shady activities.
Right. And
I just really want to make him think, what are you using your influence for? Is it good for, or is it for evil? The same thing, man, with the Cuban government and really any government out there that just suppresses people, for whatever reason. I don't know what they could be getting or what they could be gaining from it other than just the feeling of being in control. But Cuba, what are you using your influence for? Or the influences that are on your island or in your country that can bring some good to the world? Mm-hmm. Are you using it for evil or are you using it for good?
That's a good point. All right. So, as we mentioned, baseball season is just around the corner. Opening night is coming up on, what is it, April the... Willie, help me out here.
I think it's April 3rd. Yeah, April 3rd.
April 3rd. So stay tuned. The End Zone Sports team will have our comprehensive look into the upcoming 2016 Major League Baseball season.
And hopefully we won't predict as bad as we did last year because, oh, my goodness.
Why are you bringing up old stuff?
I just remember, man, two teams that I picked to go to the American League Championship Series both finished in last place.
Well, yeah. And I've got one of the teams that many thought wouldn't make the playoffs. I hit the nail right on the head in that year, and that's the Chicago Cubs. So,
yeah. Hey, can't wait to talk about them.
I was just about to say the same thing. Well, when Ricky comes home, we've got much explaining to do.
Yes.
When it comes to the Chicago Cubs in our MLB season preview. Hashtag Brothers of Baseball will be coming at you soon, folks. Stay tuned to the End Zone Sports Show and the End Zone Sports team for more about Major League Baseball. Let's kick it back over to the round ball. Dwayne Sutton.
Yes, sir.
There he is. I'm going to ask you a question, man. LeBron James. He unfollowed the Cavs Twitter account to get in quote-unquote playoff mode. Why should we care about this?
We shouldn't. We should find other things to spend our time observing, looking, watching, doing something. The city of Cleveland, boy, y'all should be nervous. Oh, y'all should be nervous. The boy got his bags packed.
Nervous ain't the word.
I got the beach.
The bubble cups, man.
Right.
Yeah. It's not looking good for the city of Cleveland. I don't care what anybody says. I know I've heard the reports that he wants to, go shut down and go into playoff mode early. You never unfollowed anybody before. But why would you unfollow your team?
Yeah. Hey, Willie.
Yes, sir.
Do you realistically, he said, believe that LeBron would realistically spurn Cleveland and leave them again?
I do.
Really?
I do. And I think it's going to happen.
You heard it here first.
As a matter of fact, I am the one who said that he was going back to Cleveland last year in the offseason. It's going to happen again. And, if somebody shows you who they are, you better believe it.
Right. Okay. So there's this story that's come out about LeBron wanting to team up with his brotherhood. And that's Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, Dwayne Wade. Dwayne, what's the likelihood of that happening? We're going to say on a scale of 1 to 10. So that's your question, Dwayne. And Willie, we're going to ask you, that would make the NBA fill in the blank. Dwayne, you're up first.
I'm going to go 10 with a minus in front of that. Negative, sir. Not going to happen.
The okey doke.
That's not going to happen. There's not enough balls to go around. There's not enough money to go around. And there's not enough space for all that ego. I know they say brotherhood, but once again, each player has created their own status in their own right. You got Wade County for a reason. LeBron can't go back to Miami. Wade, I don't think he's ready to leave Miami. Sorry. He's king there.
Right.
And you on your last leg, so where else you going to go where you going to get that kind of love?
Okay.
Melo, I told you this 2 years ago. Melo has peaked. We've seen the best of Melo. It all goes downhill from there. Hadn't proven me wrong yet. Boy still don't play defense.
Right.
And Chris Paul is still confused out there in Clipper land. I think he's just kind of dumbfounded with DeAndre Jordan's free throw shooting and Blake Griffin's dumbiness. And I really thought Doc was going to pull this thing together. But I don't know. They bought in as a whole unit, but are they really just good enough to win a championship? No. But I just don't see anybody forking over the money to bring them all in.
All right, Willie, if these four happen to team up, then that would make the NBA what?
Well, I don't know what it would make the NBA, but it would make the game. It wouldn't be good for the game, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm an old school type of dude. I would have never wanted to see Jordan and Pippen and Phil team up with Isaiah. I never would have wanted to see Magic and Bird and Worthy and pick whoever else from the Celtic or Lakers team and get together and team up to try to do what these guys are talking about doing. I mean, think about if they did this. Think about the Lakers from 2004 with Shaq and Gary Payton, Kobe and Karl Malone, and even earlier than that with Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen, and Hakeem. It just didn't work, man, and I think it'll be bad for the game.
Listen, all right. I'm gonna even go as far as to say this. Let me get this.
We gotta move on because we running down time here.
Sorry about that, fellas. Go right ahead.
All right, let's do this. We are going to get to our greatest fan segment with Miss Kenji Knox, and we'll be right back with you after this brief message.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Kenji Knox with the Greatest Fan Collecting, the coolest fans, and we got cool fans at Essence Music Festival. We're talking to Tyrese Gibson. He's doing so many great things. He has a great book, How to Get Out of Your Own Way. Could you tell us about your book?
It's a book about motivation and inspiration and real insight, raw, uncomfortable truth when it comes to life, love, relationships, childhood, all the above.
Okay, tell me about TGT. That's Tyrese Genuine Tank, or is it Tank Genuine? Tyrese TGT. Tell us about that.
Well, we call ourselves the R&B Avengers. All of us represent real R&B music.
You do that
through and
so
through,
well.
and so we're together now as a group, and we just landed a huge deal over at Atlantic Records, and we're just excited to be in the group.
So when is the tour?
Top of the year. The tour is called the Shirts Off Tour.
Shirts Off Tour with TGT, Tyrese, Genuine, Tank, Kenji Knox with the greatest man.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Knox, for that wonderful interview. Guys, we got about a minute left to go. You got any real quick thoughts here? Dwayne, let's start with you.
I do. I know this is a god, but I'm sorry. I was raised on hip hop, and one of the hip hop legends goes by the stage name of Phife Dawg, man. Passed, blindsided by the whole situation. God bless to him and his family. He really touched a lot of lives. Also back in Hattiesburg, hometown, to my home church, Mount Carmel Church. Just wishing prayers with you. in your time. Love you all.
All right, Willie Epting Jr.
Yeah, let's just continue to pray for one another and pray for this world, and that people's faith fail not, amidst of everything that's going on. Not only just the terrorist tragedies, but even the weather and not being able to tell what season it is. I know here in Dallas, there hadn't been much of a winter here. Even in Ohio, when I was up there for 3.5 months, there wasn't that bad of a winter from what they were to strengthen and not waver.
Indeed. And once again, out to our folks in North Louisiana and all over the South and Southeast who've been dealing with some bad weather issues. Our prayers are with you. We hope that everything is working out for you good and in all of your recovery and recuperation. Just hold on, be strong, and keep the faith. All right, so that'll wrap it up for this episode of the In the Zone Sports Show. For Willie, for Dwayne, I'm Donnie. We love you, God bless you, and we are